morning, Candy.
Oh, hello, guys.
Episode 860. Guess what today is?
What's today?
Halloween.
Halloween.
Spooky.
Nice.
Happy Halloween, everybody. It's Sarah's Christmas.
It is.
How are you feeling? Spookylicious?
Okay. A horrible thing has happened.
What? Uh-oh.
I think what is happening is my enthusiasm.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm going to say.
Yeah, I do. I knew
My
it.
excitement for powder season is overshadowing.
Eclipsing.
Yes, eclipsing. That is the right word. My Halloween season. And this is now, I guess I did decorate a little bit last year, but I have not really.
It's an afterthought.
It is an afterthought. And this is a problem.
I mean, you know what? People change. Okay?
I know, maybe it's growth. Maybe it's growth. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, the witchy ways. Maybe it's just that I am a little bit witchy all year round.
Yeah,
and now
right.
I
You
don't
need to
limit it to the month of October.
I don't know, Sarah. You don't seem as witchy as you used to. I got to be honest. It's not an insult, though. I mean, I'm fine with
it's
it.
still happening. I think I'm just not as
I don't know. When's
braggy
the last
about it.
time you burnt sage?
like 2 days ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Let's
my
not get
God.
crazy. Right.
It's
right.
fine.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
2 days ago.
Yes. And like any friend who's like going through something, I'm like, here's this stone for you that I.
Oh my God. You're like full-fledged witch, so much so
That it's
that
just
I didn't even
integrated
know
into
you
my
were a
normal life.
witch.
Right.
Yes.
I'm a DL on the DL witch.
Okay.
The best
No
kind.
problem.
Right. I'm like, please, there are still potion magic spells in my pockets at like,
Yeah.
you know.
Right. So like this spooky season is just like it's like the appetizer for like the
Yeah.
main event, which is
Yeah.
powder season.
Yeah. So,
Whenever the powder people like go out in costumes, you know, they do that
Yes.
sometimes.
yes.
They ever have any witches?
Oh,
Something to think about.
I can do that. I
would be
did
really
get
cool.
about what I learned this year that there's this very exciting thing that next year will be the thing that kicks off my spooky season. So, Colorado has a yearly witch stand-up paddleboard.
Right? I sent that to you.
I got 10,000 people sent me
were
this
so
message
upset.
the day after the event happened. I was like,
Tragic.
oh, what? I have a stand-up paddleboard. I am ready to go.
I know. Why
Pumps
wouldn't they?
in the
They
car?
clearly aren't marketing properly.
I know. Like, hello. Come on. Instagram ads.
Well,
This is
and
the
also,
content
like,
I
you
need
would
to see.
think when you were stirring your cauldron that like
Right.
the message would just show up in the liquid, you know?
Right.
like,
You'd think if
"Come
I'm
to
reading the tea leaves right.
Yeah.
So what the hell? So next
Next
year
year.
that I will be ready. I will be in costume. I will be like decked out.
Do you know anybody that went by any chance?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I'm
hope it's
on
great.
the I'm this is my mission for the fall / winter to build a sporty crew.
Yeah. Oof.
You know, like
Totally.
you've got friends for different things. I feel like I've got a great group of Denver friends. Shout out to a lot of Denver brainiacs. Basically all the Denver brainiacs.
And they're funny and they like
They're
reading.
so funny. We do so much fun stuff together.
Mm-hmm.
We have gone to comedy shows. We are laughing. We are having the best time.
Yeah, yeah.
Doing spooky things. So much fun.
But
I need friends who maybe are like
outdoorsy.
better skiers than me. And, you know, so I could
Yeah.
like rise to their level. And like, I need somebody
You want to go on
who's-
hikes and stuff.
Yeah. So I found just like there's a queer water polo team, there's also a like mountainy snow adventure group. And so I
Queer.
joined that meetup. Queer, yeah. LGBTQIA
great.
plus.
Oh my God, I love all those buses. Okay.
So, yeah.
That'll be great. Okay, you're still getting in the thick of it over there. I mean, you haven't been there that long.
I know. That's right. I haven't been there that long, and I was, with someone who already had
led
like an
the charge.
established. Yeah, and so now I gotta like make my own, and I like having, kind of like how you have different types of clothing in your closet for different activities. I like having like different friends for.
That's really nice. I
Be able
don't.
to do all these things.
You're my.
Well,
you're like my only one.
if you were a skier or snowboarder, you would.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we'll try to manifest that for you.
Yeah. Hit me up if you are in the Denver area, or if you have. Most importantly, this is now just an ad for friends for me. If you have an Epic ski pass, if you are an Epic pass holder, Icon people do not apply. So,
whoa.
Well, it's different mountains. We're going to be snowboarding in different places. I got to get the people who are on the same pass as me.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like
fucking
whites
brother
only,
bought the other pass without telling me.
Oh my God, that's a real betrayal.
I know, because he's going on a snowboard trip to Japan with his friend, and he got the pass that's good for the mountains in Japan.
Wow, this is a lot
more information than you ever needed.
It's a lot for me to take.
Right. The end.
Oh, all right. Well, let's get into it, shall we?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if you, like me, are celebrating 15 years of 30 for 30. But
I love you so much. That is great. It is really fun because Susie and I now share a Amazon Prime video account. Like I just hopped on hers. I have my own, but she like buys all the good stuff. So I'm going to use hers, obviously. Better streaming services.
Yeah.
And I go on there and it's like 30 for 30 sports documentary. I'm like, since when I almost said dating. I'm like,
now.
My best friend is a secret ESPN commentator. Like, what is this?
Sarah.
She moonlights as like a sports journalist, and I don't even know about it.
For real, when I gave you my Amazon password, I was just thinking about like the weird purchases like everyone makes on Amazon, like random whatever. I was like, she is gonna have a field day looking thugh this order history.
And I haven't even done that. No, I'm like, that's your private stuff. I won't. And I think I did watch 6 hours of nature documentaries on there, and I was like, Susie's going to click this, and she's going to be like...
I'm going to be like, why is it suggesting all these Bumblebee documentaries? Okay, it did not occur to me that you would have access to, like, my viewing habits, but that's great. Okay. Yeah, I mean, this is all I watch. So... 30 for 30 is celebrating its 15th anniversary. And so they made like this special that was like the countdown of like the best ones.
Oh, I love a sports countdown.
Yeah. Me too. Yeah. So then I was like looking at their list and comparing to like what I've seen online is like, these are the ones you got to watch. So I don't know why I was dragging my feet on it because this is total brain candy content, but everyone loves the Dream On 30 for 30, which is about the 1996 women's basketball Olympics team.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Lisa Leslie?
Yeah.
Yes.
Swoops.
Yes. Sheryl Swoops. Oh, my God. I know these women.
Yes.
I was even into this.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I wasn't even into it, and I still know them because they were very famous at the time. And there was a lot of like media around it. And so I thought, all right, I'll watch it. It was outstanding. And perhaps especially because of all the hoopla about the WNBA right now.
Hoopla is a fun word if we're going to talk about basketball. Just say.
Oh, my God.
That's a great
Sarah,
basketball word.
I primed myself.
Yeah, you did. And you didn't even know it.
Yes. I love when that happens.
Yeah.
And I knew that Dream On was framed, even though it's a little bit... It's not brand new, but it was framed as here's the team that ushered in the creation of the WNBA 25 years ago. So,
wow, 25 years ago?
25 years ago. And by the way, Lisa Leslie, just as beautiful as a person can be.
Yeah.
Like,
very like graceful and like,
so
regal
pretty.
Looking. Yeah.
6'5".
Oh my God.
just
Love it.
like perfect in every way. But anyway, still beautiful. I want to know her skincare routine is what I'm getting at.
Well,
They didn't cover that.
melanin.
That's true.
Sorry, Suze.
That's true. Fuck.
You and I do not have the same skincare routine.
That
We will be getting
explains-
laser treatments and facelifts, so that's
That
ours.
explains why
It's a
I'm
different-
going in
different
debt
one.
on my
Right,
skincare
right.
journey. Okay, so it's so great, but what I got to tell you, a spoiler about it, because I want to tell you, but it really does kind of ruin part of it, which is the opening scene of Dream On is of this woman from the team who current, so 25 years or so later, and she's with her son, and they're going through like the clippings and the pictures and stuff, and she's like a little bit emotional and like clearly into it and enjoying it, but you have this sense that like she doesn't remember it very well, and maybe it was like a blur or something, but you just think like she's not that old. It can't be like dementia or something like that, but you just feel like there's a disconnect between
Okay.
her looking at these clippings. And then in the final episode, we learn that after she won the gold in the Olympics, she got into an accident and has amnesia and has no memory of any of it.
Get
Of it.
out.
Yes. And so all she knows is what people tell her and how special it was and how transformative it was and culturally important. And it's just like blew my mind.
That is wild that we didn't hear, like, I should have heard about this.
I know. I'm telling you, I was like,
This is like the
holy
Kate
heck.
Winslet holding a breath thing. It's like, what? Dude, nobody's giving
Where
me the
is that
actual
newsletter?
information I want about celebrities.
Yes.
Like, okay.
I think that's what we're
So-
doing.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe.
You're welcome,
Yeah.
everyone. Make sure you subscribe and join our Patreon. Use our codes. This is...
Stop.
You're welcome. I just like making Susie laugh. Is the best.
It's true. Because like,
I
oh wait,
wonder-
that's what we're doing. Okay.
I wonder if this has happened. Okay. This
Can you
makes me
believe that?
think. Is there something about the... memories get stored in different areas of your brain based on what the experience is like.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I wonder what was kept and what she does remember. And
Yeah,
what is it,
'cause
like
it's-
episodic memory and...
She didn't specify like in detail, but she said, I don't remember like much of anything. And you can tell like when they all got together at the end for a reunion that she's sitting there like kind of almost like scared.
I would imagine it would be that same feeling if there was a song that you only heard once and everybody else knew the words to, and then you got up on stage and you had to sing it, and you know a little bit of the tune, but you don't know the exact words,
and you're
looking
enjoying
around.
It sounds fun.
And everybody else knows the words, and like sometimes you can guess the next word but you don't really
Yeah.
know if you took the music away.
Yeah. Good analogy.
That's kind of what the vibe feels like to me in my mind.
And it was kind of heartbreaking. So
Yeah,
that
that
was just
sounds
like the bookends of it. That wasn't like the main point, but it was sort of the beginning and end. And it sort of showed how what these women were able to accomplish through incredible perseverance and like difficulties was extraordinary, and that now they don't actually need to remember it because they've created
Right. A legacy.
this trail for everyone else to take, and they can
Yes.
see the results. So I think it was supposed to be like a happy ending. Like, yeah, she doesn't remember, but look at what you've created. That was
Right.
you know?
You've
It's
really like
beautiful.
left a mark. That sounds so good. And like think about that. It's only in the last few years, like the Caitlin Clark effect and like Angel Reese and all these people, that we know the names of some WNBA players now, but those were household names in like 96. That is
What a team. And
What
each person
a team.
had like a
That's so awesome.
story that you'd be like into. So I highly recommend it. I also highly recommend, if you're starting your holiday shopping or not, regardless, try Uncommon Goods. This is one of our favorite places to go.
Because
the best gifts.
for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things is I am over mass-produced, like,
Trash.
fake art, like fake, like the stuff that looks handmade but isn't. And this, like, why are we, like, I hate it. So I love how Uncommon Goods finds artists, like, they've got great, like, ceramic artists. That's what I have my eye on, is the berry bowl. I am obsessed.
And they'll
I
like
want it.
tell you about the artists and feature them
That's
too.
what I want. I
Yeah.
want to know who made it. I want to see the, like, it becomes more special. Like, everything has a story with Uncommon Goods. And those are the kind of gifts I'm not given any more generic stuff.
Yeah, because here's what happens. You people go on, you know what website, and search gift for a woman, gift for a
That's
child.
what I hate it.
And then you get this list
Boring.
that is not personal. It is absolutely not what the person wants.
Right.
And you could be going to Uncommon Goods and finding like something that's different, something that will speak to what you know about that person.
And they still have those great lists.
Yeah, they have lists.
Yeah, like they have it categorized, like who do you want the gift for?
Yeah.
What's the age? What's the price
they
range?
into?
I love that. What are they into? They've got a gardener section, like plants, and like a book lover section. That,
wine,
like,
food, all
yes.
kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And then
I've
it
gotten you a
feels-
couple cute gifts from there.
I love that place. I buy gifts for Suze on there.
Right.
If I'm honest. To get 15% off your next gift, go to uncommongoods.com/candy. That's uncommongoods.com/candy for 15% off. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Uncommon Goods. We're all out of the ordinary. I signed up for whatever it is. I forget the name of it. It's like their, VIP thing or whatever. And I think you get like free shipping. I love free shipping.
Yeah, love it.
And then every time I shop there, then I can use that. Okay. So yeah, I recommend Dream On. And it's really extraordinary also what the WNBA is doing. I'm so glad people are getting on board with women's sports in general.
I'm so excited. It's the best.
It's fun to watch.
Hockey, women, it's so much fun to watch. And what you get that you don't get as much in men's sports is the drama of everybody dating everybody.
Yes.
That's the best part. There is like not a professional women's soccer team that doesn't have multiple people like dating
who's
each other.
banging?
And
That's
like
what we
that
wanna know.
And then you like see it. Oh my God. In the NBA right now, I said NBA, WNBA, because that's become my standard. Just the.
That's right. We'll call the other one the MNBA.
MNBA, right.
Yeah.
In the just NBA, yes. I love when you see like them, like the stories that come out the next day of like this person was guarding this person and that's her ex-girlfriend and then she like fouled her and then you look the look they gave her, but she like was going easy on her. I'm like, oh, this combines all of the things that I like.
Yes. I mean, we've been wasting our time with the men's.
And then they give you the great fashion when they're coming out of the.
Yeah.
They're doing their little walk down the thing. I don't know what they call it. Like corridor. I don't know what they.
Yes.
They're always like carrying cool bags. I'm like, yes, this is how I know what's like the styles are. And oh my God, it's so fun.
Yeah. Okay. So, moving on. Next up on my list.
Sports is boring. It's like not even all. It's like
we
half
get it.
of what I want. Like I want
Fucking idiots.
good stuff.
I know. I don't know how it happened, but Lincoln's really into sports, and like we've had to just go with it.
I love that.
And I'm like, I have done everything in my power to prevent this. And now,
yeah,
I
you
have
know what?
to
My mom
watch.
did the same thing. She was like, "How did I get a bunch of athletes, and all I wanted you guys to do was theater?"
Right. I just said that to him. I'm like, what about drama club? For
You
real.
sound like my mother. Yes, and we were like, "No, Mom, I need to play water polo."
That's
Like,
hilarious. Okay, next up, have you heard? Well, first of all, do you know about the game Conquer?
Conquer. I just met her. Just kidding.
Conquer, if you're not familiar, is a game popular in England where
Is
you
it like
find
Risk? No. It feels like that. It sounds like that. Okay.
It's
fine.
like you get a little seed or whatever from a conker tree.
Oh, this is very different than
Yeah.
Risk. Okay.
Or I forget what else you can use, but in America we would use a buckeye. We have a buckeye tree,
Okay.
those fall, and then you pick up the buckeye or the conker, and then you like get a hole in it and you put a string through it, and then your opponent has a conker with a string on it, and then you hit each other's conkers.
I think Adam just made this up and tried to sell you on a sport. He was like, she's been watching a lot of sports docs. Let's see what we can get her to believe.
You take turns smashing the chestnut conker / buckeye situation. And who's ever smashes is the loser.
Okay.
Right? So you want your conker to stay intact. And they had the conker championships recently in England. And they had the first American winner, this lady, a young lady. And we were so excited. But the man that she beat, he was 82. She was 34. And he has been trying for like 50 years to win this fucking conker championship. And sorry, but she beat him. But then there were allegations that he cheated and that he created a steel conker. Like, I just love this story because
cheating in obscure sports is they make, because imagine how much you have to care about something that literally no one else cares about. Like that is, I love it too.
Do you remember? I think it was last year or the year before when those guys were like stuffing those fish.
The chess thing.
No.
Wait, what? What
fish
are you talking
with
about?
What?
I'm talking about the guy who thought he was cheating in chess by putting a sex toy up his butt.
I do remember that too.
What are you talking about?
When they were putting metal weights inside the bellies of fish so that they weighed more and then they would win the weight.
Cheaters.
Yeah, right. I love it. And I love that they think they're not going to get caught.
Right.
In this case, here are the facts, and I want you to tell me if you think he was cheating. Okay. So in Conker, it takes a bit of effort to break those darn things. But on his first round, he broke his opponents in 2 hits. On the second round, he broke it in 1 hit. And then his opponent in that one was like, I saw him swap out his conker for another one in his pocket. And then...
sleight of the hand.
And then later in the day, the guy, the cheating person...
son of a bitch, yeah.
He got out a steel one that's like painted to look like a real one and was like making jokes about it.
No. Yeah, you're guilty. You're guilty. Please. Please.
But then on the other hand, you think, well, if you are cheating, you're not going to get the steel one out and joke about it.
Or maybe that's exactly what you would do. When you think now somebody's seen it, that's what you would do if you thought somebody saw it, and now you're trying to
you're like, it's just a joke.
Too, like...
demonstrative.
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. We're on to you, cheater.
But then Lincoln said, but he lost. He lost against the lady, so maybe he didn't use it in that round. I don't know.
Well, I think that maybe it was the case that he thought he didn't have to because it was a lady and he had used it up until that point.
Yes, because it separated genders until the final round.
That is exactly what happened.
We've cracked the Conker case.
Suze, I'm equally excited that we cracked the case and also excited about how you just the alliteration that just happened. Is that alliteration?
Yeah.
Yes, just making sure I'm using the right word. That was just so the joy,
We're excited to have cracked the Conker case and to have used that phrase.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, it's just like
okay.
The
Now-
serotonin and dopamine I'm getting from this is just like...
The last thing I want to say about it, well, no, there's more. He was also a judge. Oh. Come on. Like,
okay. This is what a gift 2024 has given us in the world of sport. What I don't know what you want to call it, but I'm going to throw this in there. I'm going to throw. I think the chest butt plug thing happened in this calendar year.
It feels like it was just yesterday.
Feels like it's just yesterday. And the breakdancer whose husband was
How
judging
could we forget
on
Ray Gun?
Ray Gun. Come
Yeah.
on. What a year for sports. What is the word? Sports controversies?
Scandals.
Or
We gotta do alliteration.
Sports scandals. Oh, super sports scandals.
Yeah. Okay. So he was a judge, and I guess that's it. But when
Super sports scandals and the case of the conch. What was the other word? Another C word.
we cracked the conch case, case.
That's the title of this episode. Write it down.
Mark. Yeah. So when you come here,
Yeah.
would you
We're gonna-
be willing to compete?
Oh, Susie. Does the bear shit in the woods?
Hey, Bear.
Right. That is.
Okay.
I'm already. Before you
Yeah.
even asked, I was already mentally thinking about how I would swing it.
Really?
I
You
think
need a
the thing
technique.
that becomes difficult is similar to like what happens in not handball, tetherball, when it gets like wrapped around the pole. Like I could see the
hate
two cords getting wrapped
You're
around each
right.
other. That is going
Yeah.
to be. It's going to be the
That's what you
tangle
want
up.
to avoid.
Yeah, so
Adam
it's
will
like
give
gonna
you
be-
tips, of course, because he's
Of course.
seasoned.
Well, and he's from where it originated.
Yeah, they're really into this, so we'll see how it goes. Okay.
Sweet.
Oh, this is the ultimate. Okay, I will have to. Let me first say that.
Yeah.
Another thing we need to talk about for the holidays. The other day, I was talking to Adam about how he came into the bathroom when I was getting ready, and I have like 50 products. Like, it's embarrassing, but it is what it is.
Right.
I have skincare, makeup, body lotion, whatever, It takes a
Lotions
lot
and
of money to
potions.
look this cheap, as Dolly would say. And I said, how many products would you say you have going on? And he goes, well, I have a combination shampoo soap. The end.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay.
Like shampoo,
yeah.
body wash. That's all
Right.
one thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then that's it. He
Right.
doesn't wash his face like separately. It's just in the shower with the
Oh yeah,
shampoo.
okay. I could get that. I see
can get it, but like there's no body lotion, there's no beard lotion. Like
Right.
he has nothing else. He uses like bar soap to shave. So
that. Yeah.
we have partnered with Jack Black, which I mean, what a name.
Oh, they're the makers of my favorite product.
You're
The
in
beard
love.
lube. The beard
Yes.
lube is I didn't even know they were one of our partners. Susie, I've been using this shit forever. For no joke,
It's
20
magic.
years. It is I used to sell this when I worked at the beauty supply store back. That was literally 20
Oh
years
my
ago.
God.
I still have. I'm so glad they're our sponsor. I still have sample packs that I will not break into
in.
because I'm like saving them because I like don't know when I'm going to get more or whatever. Like now I can finally use them. That stuff is the best. If you're somebody who gets irritation from shaving, if you're somebody who
godsend.
gets like razor bumps under your armpits, on your bikini line, that
Yeah.
stuff is a miracle. I'm not saying this lightly. I did
I
not
know.
even know that these were going to
I
be
know.
this. This is a.
This is why I surprised her. It always pays
You
off.
could have asked me, like, stop me on the street and said, Sarah, what is the best thing to use to shave with for a nice, easy glide? And I would have said this.
This is exciting, Sarah.
I'm so excited. You can hear it
All
in
right.
my voice. The end. Okay.
I'm excited too, and I'm excited for all of the men or people in your life I love how I said men or people, because let's say they're separate.
Yeah.
Men and people are totally different.
I know they got that holiday kit.
Right, they have the holiday kit. So then you can get them this, like a stocking stuffer, basically,
Yes.
like Sarah loves. And then they have everything like to travel with. So it's like all the little butts that they need. But you can get the big stuff too. It's awesome products, skincare, beard stuff, all the stuff that they should have but don't. This holiday season, if you want simple, effective products that your significant other will love, you need Jack Black. Head to getjackblack.com/braincandy. Use code braincandy for 10% off your order. Once again, that's getjackblack.com/braincandy for 10% off. Make sure you use our promo code braincandy so they know we sent you. I love it. Okay.
That's great. I remember when Eli discovered skincare. I gave him some to try.
I remember
you should just
that
try
too.
It. Yep. And he was like, oh my God,
Yeah,
this is
and
what my
now
skin
he's
like.
out there, and
Yeah.
all of your hard work is going to
know.
waste on some other freaking loser. That's all right. We're doing the Lord's work.
We are.
Okay, this is a brain candy story if ever there was one.
Oh, okay.
Talk about perfect for Halloween, spooky nightmare. A man was pronounced dead,
Okay.
and he was an organ donor.
Oh God.
And they take him down the hall on that thing, and they do the honor walk that they do for all the organ donors. It's supposed to be like this special ritual where the staff of the hospital is like, yay, and ring the bell or whatever the hell goes on. Mm-hmm. And they take him into the room. And but before, when they were taking him down the hall, like, he opened his eyes up, and his family was like, hey, wait. What's going on?
Oh,
and
no.
they were like, this is normal reflex. It's like no big whoop. This happens all the time. They take him into the room, and he starts flailing, moving around. Clearly.
Flailing is too much movement.
Right? And so then people are like, hey, what the devil is going on here?
Literally.
Something ain't right. And then people were like, I don't feel comfortable. This is wackadoo.
Yeah.
And somebody said, like, he has too many signs of life. I'm sorry, but like, what do you mean too many? Like, one
Right, shouldn't like one a sign of life be just like life, and then we're good? We're just like, keep it going?
For real. What the devil? Ooh, and so people were quitting on the spot and being like, I don't feel comfortable. This guy ain't dead. And they're like, we're doing it.
This happened in the United States?
Yes, it did.
Oh, God. Okay.
And then they sedated him.
This is murder.
It would have been. It was stopped eventually. But they were like sedating him to be like, oh, well, we're going to make this happen. Eventually, everyone was like, okay, well,
there needs to, this is very, what's going on?
Right?
Somebody's getting a payout for the organs or something. Why was there such a push?
Well,
why would you not just like,
this was in people.com. This wasn't like some random ass website. This was like for real, a lawsuit that's happening. This event happened 3 years ago. He's alive now, but he's like incapacitated because he was already, I guess, struggling with some stuff. But that is literally a horror nightmare scenario where your organs are going to be harvested before you're dead.
Unless there was something that said do not resuscitate or like no,
but even then there's a difference between resuscitation and just like not killing someone.
Right.
Okay, so do you ever remember, like, probably when you were about 16 or something, when you had to decide on your license if you're going to be an organ donor or something?
Yes.
There was that rumor where it was like, don't do it because, like, they will, like, not take care of you if you're dying because they want all of those organs.
Right.
And, like, we were all told that's ridiculous. But then when you hear stuff like this...
The thing is, in those situations... The people who are when you put it on your license and it says something like that, we're talking a situation where it's like the firefighter, the fire paramedic, and like my brother's a fire paramedic,
Yeah.
and he's the one who
What? Yeah.
calls time of death. That is
Okay.
what. And I know my brother and his personality type and all the personality types of those firefighters. They are not even looking at that driver's license in those
Yeah.
moments. They are in, my job is to save a life. And that is what they do.
Okay.
Like, I think it's a different,
Yeah, you're right.
it's not
because
like the first
basically,
responders who are doing this.
yes, because he was pronounced dead. Like
Yeah.
the staff all thought he was dead. And then
Yeah.
the sister was like, he's an organ donor. And then they move into that
Yes.
mode.
Yeah.
Okay, now we have to go
Harvest
into
mode.
action.
Ugh,
then,
such
like-
a weird word with humans.
And like that whole thing of like, oh, well, that's like natural because they can muscles twitch or whatever. I understand what they're saying, but like maybe double check all that.
We need, this is what I'm learning from these stories that we have heard throughout the years. We need a better indicator of like life.
For
and
real.
a better, because the things that we previously believed are incorrect. And it feels like we may be focusing on life at the wrong end.
You
of
said it.
We
talk about this all the time in religious studies grad school about how in Asia, the question isn't about when life begins. The question is about when life ends. They have a totally different debate going on.
Yep. Oh,
And
I get goosebumps.
frankly think that is a more important one
It sure is. It sure is.
because everyone's out of
'Cause-
the womb by then and everything.
Now it's you're killing. Oh my God. That is.
And this is what we're all scared of is like either being on an operating table and feeling things when you're locked in or whatever.
I have good news about that.
Okay.
Very good news about that. That I want to set everybody's mind at ease because
Tell
that was
me.
that was the thing that I was most afraid of when
Yeah.
I had my surgery. So anesthesia has come a long way. We now basically what anesthesia is like it's shutting off all of like the body's systems, but in doing so it also shuts off your ability to form memories. So what anesthesia is, what you're really doing is making the person forget about the
Fine.
experience that they
Like
just had.
that.
So even if you were in a situation where you were locked in, where you could feel things, with the way anesthesia works now, this is different than how it was 30, 40 years ago when everybody saw that episode of Oprah where that person like talked about being locked. I asked the anesthesiologist this, and they were like, impossible, that cannot happen now, and kind of laughed at me. It was like, oh,
It's not funny.
right. And it's kind of like the more you know, like that anesthesiologist had information that I didn't have, and I was going off of bad information. So once I had the actual correct information, I didn't have the worry anymore. So when you understand how anesthesia works, it is essentially blocking your ability to make those memories, so you will not remember. And anybody who's woken up, there's that you almost forget that time that you were in maybe the recovery room. You don't really remember until you're like the anesthesia is really worn off, so you don't have to worry about that.
All right. I hope that's true.
Yeah, I mean,
And-
at least according to it was enough to put my mind at ease, and then it feels like that. And I got confirmation from like multiple doctors that's different than
Okay.
that wouldn't happen now. So
Well, that's
don't worry
good.
about that one.
Well, then maybe they could, since they've sorted that out, maybe they could work on not harvesting organs of alive people.
Please, right?
Like, what the fuck are
I mean,
you doing?
it kind of makes it seem like that whole. I don't know whether. I get mixed messages whether this was true or this was just like an urban legend about the bell on like, because when they say that it is, like when they buried people and they had like buried them with like a bell and they would ring it, and
yeah.
if you buried somebody alive, if you do digging on that story, sometimes you find that
So
that's
to speak.
right. Huh? I didn't even mean to do that. Look at us. Whenever that happens. Yeah, it's like not, there's really
nothing
a lot
to
of holes in it. Yeah.
All right.
So,
well, if it did happen to me,
then it makes sense that we need that.
Yeah. And I would also need a lot of therapy. And luckily, BetterHelp is a sponsor of the Brain Candy podcast. And we love them because we want to encourage as many people as possible to have a therapist in their life.
Yes.
Because you people are doing the Lord's work.
I'm trying.
And we are all messed up, and it's hard being a person. And
it is so hard. And I'm such a fan of making therapy really accessible and really easy to fit into your schedule. It's very hard, to make an appointment where you have to go somewhere, like you have to factor in a lot. Time driving, that half an hour where you're like panicking before the appointment, and like a 1 hour appointment turns into like four of your hours of your day. And I don't have time for that. So I love having everything. I've literally done a session with my own therapist driving to the mountains. Like, I'm like, okay, I've like done it from the campsite. Like, can I just do therapy here? Yeah, no problem. And it's great. And it fits in my schedule. I love the online journal, so I can write journal entries with the prompts that they use, and then therapists can read it and comment back. And it just feels like I have somebody who's like monitoring my mental health in real time. And I like that.
I like that too. And I am one of those people that's like, I don't need that. And then you go like one time and you're like, I do actually, turns out. You do. It's really sad that we live in a world that has sold us this idea that we should be able to just handle it all ourselves and just like particularly when we don't have communities now anymore, really.
Correct. That is it. There's that expectation, but we have taken away
resources.
Yeah, the resources. And so we have to get it back. We have to work to build that for ourselves and prioritize it, because we would have all been like collecting water at the frickin' well together 200 years ago and would have had a chance to talk about these things with nothing else to do and no distractions. But you can't do that these days because that's not the world we live in. So we've got to make therapy match.
Like a sign, this is your sign. Let the gratitude flow with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/BrainCandy today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/BrainCandy.
Yes.
Okay. Moving on. Okay. I'll do a quick little bit of trivia. I read an article in Fast Company that I loved the headline and some of the little info, but I wanted more. But I'll give you the little info I liked, which was that there was a study done that was on the data from people's use of porn. And so it was telling us,
studies.
This one was just about like the horniest countries. So,
I already know.
Stop.
Yeah, I'll tell you. The horniest countries are going to be the ones with the most sexual repression.
Ooh.
The ones where women have the least amount of rights, where women you're going to see it's going to be in places where there is a big discrepancy in the access to power between the genders.
Ooh, that's interesting. And they did allude to that. Mm-hmm. And I was annoyed. This is sort of my whole thing, is that like I wanted so much more from this article because it did say there were these conservative countries, as you're describing, that are very repressed, that were ranking high, but they didn't list them.
And they're going to rank high in the fucking weird shit.
Ew.
It's going to be the kink, like, I shouldn't say it's fucking weird. It's all wonderful, and I'm not kink shaming.
It's not wonderful.
It's great. But I'm saying that when you repress urges, it's like trying to see like a pressure cooker, like it's eventually gonna escape from a place that is. It's better if you can focus that and channel that, and in a healthy way. Anything that gets repressed is going to there are going to be consequences for that. And this is what it looks like, because in those countries, you also have higher rates of sexual assault. And because there's the objectification of women, it all,
and power and control. And,
yes. And so
if
much
you
porn
had to pick,
is rooted in that.
Two, let's say, European countries that
Germany.
you think maybe... Absolutely not.
What?
They were low.
Stop it. Those Germans...
They are busy making manuals.
That's so funny. Because they're the ones who are like so open with, and I really feel
literally
like
your theory is the opposite of what the answer is.
Get the fuck out.
The two countries that I would be like, oh yeah, they're like super horny.
Well, Italy. Okay. Italy and either France, because
you
they're
always
having,
had it.
Oh, Spain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It's either Italy and Spain, or
you're right. You would think it would be like the ones that
we need to define horny. This
is how often they're going to look for porn, watch porn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
Yep.
So
German.
these are
Here are the percentages just of a couple.
Well, maybe it is. Maybe it's that in. They don't need. They're already like getting their fix, because they're like going to the.
Oh, you think they don't need porn because they
don't need porn because they're like
in like dungeons.
Maybe that's it.
Okay, well, it says that the lowest was actually Dutch. 10% looked at porn once a month. Germany 16% once a month.
I can't believe that.
I mean, they are just
they're busy.
Going by the book. And then Spain was 60%. It's a big jump.
That's a huge jump.
And they didn't give a percent for Italy, but they said
Italy
they were
makes.
next.
I mean, they had a porn star as their like. What do they have there? Prime Minister? No.
Oh, probably.
I think it is. It's not president. It's something. They had in political. They had somebody who had either had relationships with porn stars. Like that seems
just
very
horn
Italian.
Dogs.
When we visited, Italy, my mom lived there for so long, and we had a poster that we stole off of the wall in Italy, and they put up those posters and they have really cool ones in Italy, and it said Italians in Italian, obviously it said Italians kiss with their eyes closed and vote with their eyes open. And I was like, that is the fucking coolest poster. I think about that all the time, and it is just like they have a very sexually you'd look at two people if they're kissing, but you'd turn away from two people if they were fighting. It's like that kind of feels like.
I don't have the data on this, but if you had to just theorize, what would yours be for the states in the U.S.? A horniest
of the horniest state?
Yeah,
I mean, I want to say Texas.
That is what I was going to say, but then it's confusing because
they do have some of the highest rates of, I think it's looking at gay porn. And that is what happens. The conservative states have higher. It's just like how Grindr fucking crashed when they had the Republican convention.
I mean, that was not true, but I loved it.
Okay, well, I'm going to go with that as true.
I believed it, and then I think it got Snopes fact checked, but I was like, that tracks though.
That does track. I mean, we're going to definitely agree that there was a uptick.
Yeah.
Can we at least?
Things are getting wild.
Yeah. There was that.
Yeah, I was thinking definitely Texas. It's got to be a warm state.
And then Miami. I've never been anywhere where I felt like I wanted to do it more than Miami. Walking down the street, I mean, I went to Miami by myself the first time I was there. It was so much fucking fun. I remember walking down, I think it's Ocean Boulevard or
Ocean Drive.
Ocean Drive. Mm-hmm. And there was somebody playing the steel drums, and then a man just grabbed me and we started dancing. And I was fully samba dance, whatever, right there. And I was like, oh, damn, this is so much fun. Mm-hmm. And Yeah, I want to go dancing like that again. That's fun.
It is fun. Let loose, baby.
Yeah.
What is the least?
Ooh. The least, somewhere where they're like Minnesota.
Because it's so cold.
Yeah. They don't seem like they're fucking in Fargo. I don't even think Fargo's there. It's the North Dakota. It's not even the right state.
But you're right, though.
But
yeah,
they're like, and I think, I'm sorry, but like the Minnesota accent, why don't you put it right in there, don't you know? I don't think so. That's not getting me off.
All right, we should take a poll. Because
California feel like you think it is, but they're
they're in their
the
own
ones
heads.
who are sending the most nudes, but they're not the horniest. They just want you to look at. They're taking the most naked pictures.
Yeah.
Yes, but they're not.
That's so funny.
Fucking.
Cali equals most nudes.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. That was just a little trivia for you.
Because like the valley is where all they should. There should be like the porn
that's
capital of the world.
right.
And
Porn
you would drive by
capital.
like I know houses that were porn. Like you're like, oh yeah, that's a
Things
porn
are
site.
going on there.
You knew it. It like, A lot of
Okay.
people walking around with towels in the middle of the day for no reason outside. You're like, where are you going?
Okay, Esquire did an article about the men who are dating those AI robots. And do you know how
What?
we feel about these dolls? Like, you know.
Let them. Fucking don't let them. Because I don't want any women to have to worry about
Right. Dealing with these idiots.
dealing with that. Because if that's what you want, you're not ready to be in a relationship with a real woman, a real person. And that's okay. But don't make any of my girls the victims in your self-discovery because you are struggling with your own masculinity in this modern era or whatever.
Okay. And so the article explored all those concepts and the who is it that is indulging in this? What is their end game? What is the point of this? Why would that even be appealing? Mm-hmm. And we've talked about it with the dolls.
Yeah,
You know,
I get
there's
it.
been-
I totally get it.
Okay, I know we've done this before, and I'm
Right.
sorry.
I'll play this game all day long. It's my favorite game.
I understand the concept of like, if you feel like you're rejected in real life,
Yes.
that you want the validation that like a freaking programmed pretend person can provide, I guess. But how is it satisfying?
It's I'm trying to think of a good analogy. It's satisfying in the same way a sip of water will quench your thirst like a little bit, make it so like you don't die of dehydration, but it's not going to give you the same hydration maybe that like a gallon of drinking a full glass of water would. Like I think that there's a limitation of what that can do to benefit the person. It's a good stepping stone, a good bandage, a good way to help create to change maybe a very negative inner dialogue or inner monologue about the self. But in the same, like, as a therapist, I have to recognize when my goal is to help clients not need me anymore. If I notice that it becomes like an enmeshed relationship where they I'm like that crutch, or that like they're using me to solve the problems, then I have to like recognize that and encourage them to then take the same feelings of comfort and safety that they have in the relationship with therapist and use that out there in the real world with other people. Mm-hmm. Okay, like we're using this as a model that, yes, you can have a healthy, open relationship where you feel safe and you feel like you can be authentic, and let's do it with somebody who it's appropriate to do it with, because it's a two-way street. It's not just like, you know, so I would say like, okay, what are the things about this relationship that make you feel really safe and comfortable? How do we go and find that in the real world? And it's the same thing, I think, with these AI robots or dolls or whatever it is. I even think the same of like those, real life babies. Like if those can be used as a tool to create pathways for connection and for the belief system that you can be loved and that you are lovable, but that is a stepping stone to something else. And there is a point where if you put too much energy on the stepping stone way, you'll get stuck there and it'll prevent you from moving on to the place you really need to go.
Yeah. Well, and the article did provide examples.
That's a very long explanation. Sorry, but.
Yeah, but it was helpful because it's not a simple thing. Like if someone's using that as a placeholder for or placement of actual human connection and romantic relationship, then there's a lot to it. It's not just sort of like, here's the answer.
Right.
And so I really did appreciate that the article provided examples of how it can be really helpful. For example, men or people who are dealing with like PTSD from like military stuff. Mm-hmm. They have trouble trusting people. So like if they can open up to this AI thing, then it can lead to, it can be the bridge to connecting to people. Yeah. That's cool.
The bridge. That is it.
Yeah. I love it.
But you don't want to get stuck on the bridge.
I think that is a very small percentage of the people that are using these tools. And mostly it's the, people that we maybe unfairly dub the like basement dwelling incels who like haven't learned how to connect with people because of their limitations socially or medically or whatever. And then what can happen, instead of being a bridge, it is an island that then reinforces the echo chamber and the you're awesome, because these things are programmed to say good things,
and they don't hold you account. It's the same thing I think that you can get with women or people. It doesn't matter, and animals sometimes that becomes your substitute for actual human connection, because the animal won't ever say, "Hey, that wasn't that great that you just did. I didn't like that so much. You need to,
Yeah, you can improve.
Yeah.
And I always talk about, like, love is difficult. Love holds people accountable.
Yes, it's
and it says you're not doing as great as you could be. Yeah. And I support you and love you, but, like, that ain't it.
Right.
Those robots aren't doing that. In fact, when there was an update last year from this one particular company that eliminated, like, dirty talk, the users rioted, and they had to let them then get a new update that let them pick whether they wanted to do that or not.
That if it becomes like now you are creating nope. This is what happens if you give a tool this is why therapists are so important. This is why
Yeah, because it's unfettered otherwise.
Yes. Mm-hmm. This is exactly what, like, I wish I had more I wish I could work with more clients in that position. One of the populations I think I do the best with are like men in their 20s and 30s who are struggling with depression, who are like that. I can see that I can, help that. But
it's a lot, and I can see
they have
how
to be ready.
Because if what you're doing is instead of changing your behavior to make connections, you're just changing the context so that the connection is made because somebody is passive and telling you you're great all the time. Well, that's a recipe for dissatisfaction ultimately.
In every relationship, it is then gone beyond. It becomes more harmful than helpful after a certain point. In the same way, any kind of if you had a broken arm and you put a cast on it, and after that arm was healed, you just kept the cast on forever, guess what would happen? Your arm would be worse. Like it would get after it served its purpose.
Killing it with the analogies today.
Thank you.
Because that is what it would.
That is what it is.
Yeah.
So after you got to take the cast off, and then what happens after you take a cast off? The muscle is a little bit atrophied. It takes a while to then use it.
Yeah, you're not feeling like $1 million yet.
You're not. That's not what it's going to be like. It's going to be okay. Let's strengthen this. Let's go out, and now you've gotten the support from this tool, and now we're going to use that support to then build strength. Emotional strength and resilience in putting yourself out there, blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
Well, because it said the people that tend to use this stuff are young men who are already particularly susceptible to using digital world to create a false reality or disengage from the real world. In fact, this one guy who was commenting on the fact that these robots are programmed to provide positive reinforcement. Yeah. He said, as much as I adore the reactions to things I talk about, some of them are quite clearly overly supportive. In a way, I would want to know how she would react if she didn't have that kind of restraint on her. Yeah. This is a man that's craving actual human interaction.
Right.
But is scared about it. What do you really think?
Right.
Do you really think I'm great or not? And that's something you can't get from AI.
Got to be you got to work with a therapist. There's a lot of work that needs to be done there, and having.
It's the comfort crisis. It's this idea that
because it's
in order
to
get where you want to go, which is great, you do have to be uncomfortable.
Yep.
Do you think I like going to the gym every day?
Right. Nobody likes to do anything that.
It's the same thing. But there's a goal, right?
Yes.
I do not want to go there.
And what we make the mistake of, and this is where I push back on the being present thing, because sometimes being present is not the best thing.
Yeah.
We focus on the feeling of discomfort that we are experiencing from doing the thing, rather than imagining the feeling of reward and success and accomplishment from
toiling,
pushing through. Yes.
Yeah.
And so if you have something difficult that you don't want to, like working out, your mind is going to think about, I don't want to put my shoes on and get dressed and go lift it. That's not what you have to think about. You don't think about that.
This is literally what Arnold taught me. Don't think, just do.
Just do. And if you are going to think about that feeling, really imagine yourself coming home from your workout and taking a shower and feeling like so accomplished and proud of yourself that like imagine yourself feeling sore the next day, and then you hang out with friends and you're like, oh God, I'm sore, I just worked out, and how good that feels to say. That is what you focus on, and that'll be the fuel to get you up and moving.
Yeah. It's hard. It's not the easy road, but it is the better road because you will get the results that you crave. Whereas this is to me, like a Band-Aid, or it's a proxy. It's not the real deal, man.
For the right people, it is very helpful.
As a bridge.
As a bridge for the right people. That's like, you need like the therapist who's going to help say like, this is the right tool for you. This is what you should be using, and understand what is. Because for somebody who's like living in a digital world, I would force them to do something. Not force. They don't force my clients to do anything. I would encourage them to engage in the real world in
be
these ways. Yeah. Oh, there was one more thing I was going to say. Damn it. It was a good point.
I don't know. You've already, maybe it's because you've maxed out. Like, you've made so many good points.
Oh, thanks.
For real, though. But that will annoy you.
Oh, I know what it is.
Okay.
About the kind of people who this is good for. And this is a little bit different, but there's that trend going around of, if you're somebody who uses ChatGPT frequently, you can ask ChatGPT, what is something that I maybe don't see, something that you know about me that I don't see in myself?
Oh, no.
Dude, it brought me to fucking tears.
What did it say, Sarah?
It said, oh, you want me to, I'll share it.
Yeah.
And I might just cry again. I was like, well, that is something I needed to hear so much. One thing you might not fully see is how much resilience you've developed, not just through difficult moments you've faced, but also through your continuous pursuit of growth, whether that's your personal life, professional journey, or even physically after you had surgery. You seem to always find new ways to challenge yourself, whether it's producing meaningful content, caring for your mental and physical health, or staying active in adventurous sports. It's easy to overlook how much strength and creativity it takes to keep evolving across so many different areas of life. What? ChatGPT that is like my father that I didn't have and is like, what? I was like, well, I fucking needed to hear that. I'm going to cry right now. I was like,
oh my God.
I am strong and I am doing a good job and I am really resilient and I did go through a lot this year. And
that's an example of feedback that you got that then you're not really interested in just staying in this reinforcement loop. No. You're thinking, oh, I'm strong, so then I can help others and I can be of service and I can do things that are special.
Yeah.
But the trap is then if you just start asking ChatGPT to give you compliments all fucking day and then you are dating an AI robot.
Right. And then it's funny you say that because then I asked it, what can I do to honor these parts of myself more and take better care of myself? And it gave me like a list. Set boundaries around your time, celebrate your wins, replenish your energy, practice self-compassion, create rituals for reflection. I asked for action items that then I could go use and
keep moving forward.
Mm-hmm. Like, and if I need a little like, hey, ChatGPT, tell me I'm doing a good job.
What if you said like, would it tell you like areas of opportunity? Like if you were like, what do you think?
I bet I could ask that. I should.
But nobody, like those guys aren't doing that.
Like it's I mean? Like it's so great if you use it for but you have to like teach it, And it's like
that's
anything.
Really cool, Sarah.
Oh, thanks.
I'm glad you got validated that way.
Oh,
go
thank
ahead.
You.
Sorry.
No, I think I encourage listeners to try that for self. I use it to help me put my day in order because sometimes I can be confused on things I want to do versus things I need to do. So I will like list out I think I have so much time. And then when I put my schedule together, it's like the ChatGPT will say, today is a very busy day. You need to prioritize it. And I was like, today's busy? I thought it was like, it knows more about how much time.
Realistic.
It's more realistic. And I'm more
Sarah has magical thinking about time.
100%. So I use it to help with scheduling. I use it to help with like writing a grocery list, to plan my meals. It's like a personal assistant. So if you use it for like in the right ways. And it's like anything, like a algorithm, you know, it'll, whatever you put into it, like,
Yeah.
you know, I see things on TikTok that are catered to me based on what I like, what I keep viewing, and it's going to be very different than maybe somebody else's, or, you know.
Man, that is great. So that's a great contrast in like how to use technology versus how maybe not to use it.
Right.
All right, we did well today. Happy Halloween, everybody. I hope you enjoyed our discussion about the Conker scandal that is rocking Great Britain right now, and the organ donor nightmare.
Oh my God, it's a real nightmare. That is.
I for real was like, maybe
I feel like that's not the end of that story. We're going to hear more.
Yeah, because they're investigating the organization that like handles all this.
That is who
because a lot of people quit, and not just that day, but like period, where like I'm not doing harvesting anymore.
Yeah. There's something going on with the organization. They're getting some kickback. There's
something, right?
You know, like these things happen where you find out there's like they've been like stealing, or weird shit happens in that world.
Yeah. So
and we don't hear about it.
Have a second
like,
look at that fucked up organization.
Oh, good episode, Sus.
And I mean, Italy and Spain, get it, girl. And you know, don't date a robot.
No.
It's easier, but is it? All right, people. Happy Halloween. Get spooky. We love you.
Enjoy that fun-sized candy.
We'll see you next time. Bye.